Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at the next generation of AI web dev tools. What if you could build an entire web application with just one prompt? In this video, we're going to talk about the AI tools making this happen. We're going to look at V0, Bolt.new, and Lovable. I've used these tools, tested them out, and now I want to make a video showcasing their capabilities and also show you what you can do with them. Before we dive into these tools, I briefly want to talk about a term that has been making waves right now in the web dev space called vibe coding, as it relates to using AI in your workflow. Essentially, what this means is it allows you to build without friction and also allows you as a non-technical person to be able to build web applications from start to finish without any friction. And I totally understand how this would change the game for developers and the things that you can build and how much time you can actually build it. I recently met someone. He's a doctor, and he mentioned to me he built something he has been wishing someone would build for him for over a year, built it in a week, right? All because of tools like what I'm going to be sharing in this video. So let's get right into it. Let's start with V0. V0 is like a pair programmer that lets you describe your ideas in natural language, and it generates both the code and the UI for you. So you can think of this as a way for you to build your landing pages, pricing table, whatever feature that you can imagine possible, you can build with V0. Right here on the landing page, you can see some examples from the community of what people have built using this platform. I want to also highlight for every tool that I will be talking about what it is, what it can do, but also just show you an example prompt of it actually building the thing. But because I don't want this video to be very long, I'm just going to give it a very straightforward prompt, and I expect it to run this in a very short time, right? For V0, our first action will be to add in a prompt. I want to create a simple page that lets you generate recipes, right? And I've made it a bit descriptive by saying it should include the items that I want to see on the page and also style it using Tailwind CSS. So let's go ahead and send this prompt. Also, one thing I want to note is V0 is built by Vercel, the Vercel team, and I think for every app it builds a Next.js app, right? So one thing for you to note is if you're building with V0 and you're not familiar with Next.js and you want to look at the code later, just keep it in mind that it's using Next.js under the hood, like you see here. But now with AI and everything, it's easy for you to, understand the code by just asking more questions about the code that was generated. Great, our app is ready. Let's see what happens when I click the generate recipe button. Oh, nice. So you can see, because I gave it a very descriptive prompt, it went ahead to do exactly what I expected it to do, right? A simple web page that lets me generate recipes with the instructions, and it's using Tailwind CSS like I asked it to. So if I go back to the code here, and then if we scroll down, we can also see it's using Tailwind CSS as I told it to. So that was pretty fast. Our app is ready. You can take this one step further by deploying it to the Vercel if you want to, or connecting your GitHub account and deploying it somewhere else, like GitHub Pages, for example. Nice. This is really, really nice. This is really, really nice. Okay, now let's try out Bolt.new. So Bolt.new is another AI web dev tool that you can use to generate your web application, mobile applications, and so on and so forth. So I want to try the same prompts that I used earlier, and I want to see what this would generate for me. So create the same app for me, and we'll see what the end results
is. So I believe this is also using Next.js, but I'll just wait for it to generate the code so I am sure. So right now we see that the app, yeah, this is very much Next.js still. Okay, so our app is ready and we got a slightly different application look here, but essentially the same functionality. So I'm going to click the generate recipe to see, and this is what we have. Very nice, very nice. One extra feature that I know that Bolt gives you is integration with other tools like Stripe, Superbase, and GitHub. And I believe if you have your own UI, maybe I designed a UI in Figma, I can actually import that in here as well, and it will use the specified design instead of generating its own. That's also another nice feature. And last but definitely not the least, we have Lovable. Lovable is also an app you can use to bring your ideas to life. I like to see it as a personal assistant. You tell it what to do, it does it for you, right? So let's try out our prompt here in Lovable and see what the result is. I'll go ahead and attach my prompt, and I don't know if I want it to be pro. Okay, I need to be in pro, so I'll just go ahead and send this and see what gets generated. We can expect this to take a few minutes like it does with the other platforms. I love that it also like highlights what it's going to do before then getting started with the code. I also see this is also in Next.js, I think. I want to also believe that I could also change this if I wanted to build it in Nuxt or Vue, for example. But let's keep it like this for this video. Nice. So after a few seconds of running, we have our app generated. This kind of looks similar to the previous app because of the theme, but I like the overall idea. So let's try to see what happens when I click the generate recipe button. Yeah, it's pretty similar in terms of theme, but generally it works. And I can open this in a new tab just to see it fully. So I have this recipe, I can generate another recipe and another recipe. It just pulls this from the, I believe, hard-coded recipes that was generated. So let's look at the code and see what's in here. So this is the recipes that was hard-coded like I mentioned, and then the main part of the app. Yeah, this is quite straightforward. The one thing that I like about Lovable is, like I said, you can always take it one step further by publishing this to the web, and you can do that by either deploying, let's publish and see what happens. When you publish, I believe it gives you a custom domain, but then you can also go ahead and add your own domain. So our application is live at this URL, and I can always go back and add a custom domain if I want to actually ship this. It also has a Superbase integration. This is important if you're looking to, for example, build a backend for your app. Maybe you don't want to use the recipes, but you want to allow people generate their own recipes, right? You can add user authentication, database, and backend capabilities with Superbase. You can also connect it to GitHub. It's pretty similar to other apps that I've shown you, Bolt and V0. And I've played with 3 of them. They have similar vibes. If you're using one and you want to switch to another, there's no learning curve, honestly. It's just you have the chat box, you can type in whatever you want to do. And for the best experience, I always say you should write a well-detailed prompt telling it exactly what you want it to do. If you want to drill it down to the technology you want it to use, you can also add that in.
As I wrap up this video, I just want to mention how the fact that developers shouldn't have a mindset that AI is going to replace you or take your jobs, but instead it's going to help you level up. I see these tools as a way to, improve your productivity as a developer, as you don't have to do everything from scratch anymore. So rather than thinking that AI is going to replace you or take your job, I want you to have like a different mindset towards this, as this is going to be tools that you have handy that would help you be more productive. And I understand that the space is growing super fast and it's sometimes scary, but if you change your mindset and phrase it in such a way and also try to level up with everything that's going on in the AI space, I want to believe that you'll be fine.